all create an opinion or a few form of a point of view based by myself, lifestyles, my own revel in as a discern, my personal experience as a person within the enterprise, and then we go from there. I even have this big platform on The View, and I just started out thinking about giving voice to the unvoiced. Hello, that is Macy. Joy Behar had no purpose of sparking an all-out struggle on live TV, least of all with a longtime colleague like Sunny Hostin. Yet, in a startling flip of occasions, she observed herself doing precisely that, confronting Sunny in front of thousands and thousands of viewers, firing again with a stage of candor that many had by no means seen from her earlier then. The catalyst for the blow-up traced back to the unlikeliest of locations, Sunny's non-public-owned family records. Once acknowledged mostly for her robust stances on systemic racism, Sunny had converted into the subject of public scrutiny after a surprising genealogical discovery. Discovered that her 0.33 superb grandfather become a slaveholder. The ramifications on my own might have made headlines, but what propelled the state of affairs right into a full-blown crisis changed into the explosive disagreement that culminated when Sunny, in a moment of seen distress, seemed guilty Joy for the criminal quagmire brewing round her, and Joy unleashed a withering reaction that had become an on-the-spot viral phenomenon. What started as a reputedly ordinary segment on The View quickly unraveled into chaos. For months, Sunny had emerged as synonymous with outspoken critiques of America's racial records, frequently calling out public figures for minimizing or ignoring the nation's beyond misdeeds. She turned to not often shy about condemning folks who defended Confederate monuments, or resisted acknowledging the injustices carried over from slavery into modern systems. Yet on an episode of the popular PBS software Finding Your Roots, Sunny came face to face with a twist she could in no way have anticipated. The show's researchers disclosed that one branch of her ancestry traced again to a slaveholder in the 1800s. The surprise in her eyes became immediate, but viewers had been similarly bowled over by her response. Rather than dive into the usual denouncements, Sunny in brief brushed off it as a truth of existence, referencing the duration wherein it befell. While some enthusiasts sympathized, mentioning that genealogical bombshells can elicit all sorts of emotional responses. Critics seized on her obvious indifference. Some longtime admirers of Sunny's straightforward moral stances felt uneasy at how speedy she seemed to dismiss the enormity of her ancestors' movements. Still, few anticipated that the fallout might reach such massive proportions, until Fox accusing her of hypocrisy and ethical preening. Social media promptly erupted, with viral posts questioning how Sunny, who'd never hesitated to chastise others, should deal with her circle of relatives linked to slavery so casually. These later every other bombshell dropped, Melania Trump turned into reputedly submitting a $100 million lawsuit associated with what she deemed unfavorable and defamatory statements made approximately her. Suddenly, the headlines featuring Sunny's genealogical revelations had been rivaled through an equally sensational tale, approximately Melania taking competitive criminal action. Though the specifics of the lawsuit remained murky, Greg Gutfeld made a point of weaving the two narratives together on his show. Well, for me, the two moments are related in more than one approaches, but I decided to end up a prosecutor due to the fact I saw my uncle in the front of me. I noticed that he failed to appear to rely to the police, presenting Melania as a person taking a forceful stand to cope with private grievances, even as Sunny, in his view, sidestepped ownership of her own family's annoying legacy. The commentary sparked countless debate on cable information and social media, thrusting Sunny similarly into the spotlight. Meanwhile, behind the curtain on The View, tensions simmered. Producers involved that Sunny's genealogical revelation blended with the swirl of Melania's lawsuit may alienate visitors or overshadow different urgent subjects. One rumor that quickly circulated became that advertisers had been developing skittish. The dual controversies around Sunny's ancestry and Melania's legal warfare seemed to accelerate a broader conversation, approximately how some distance talk display hosts need to move in discussing debatable or private matters. The drama crescendoed while Sunny publicly hinted that Joy Behar's jokes on air, jokes that had referenced everything from genealogical skeletons to Sunny's outspoken condemnation of various political figures, had some way fanned the flames that brought about Melania's lawsuit even entering the communique. She stopped brief of stating outright that Joy turned into the base's cause. However, the implication felt clear enough to prompt alarm bells within the manufacturing team. That's whilst Joy Behar, who had long championed freewheeling speak, a Besino at home, had a long champion from missing Jew to Unitarian miscreant determined to talk her mind on live television. In a surprisingly stressful trade that began as a light segment approximately of public figures dealing with criminal challenges, Sunny made a cryptic remark approximately how certain co-hosts, turning to Stan Joy, had pushed a story so relentlessly that it practically exceeded ammunition to the ones. Like Melania Trump trying to document large lawsuits. Joy's eyebrows shot up. The target market stirred. Everyone sensed that a line had been crossed. Joy, suffering to restrain her exasperation, politely asked Sunny to clarify what she meant. Sunny hesitated, aware of how the live broadcast, however reputedly emboldened via frustration, and doubled down. If we hadn't gone to date with the speculation around positive humans, she commenced, I doubt we'd be staring down these 100 million greenback claims. The instant hush within the studio turned into a telltale signal that something extraordinary become unfolding. Joy, regarded for comedic timing in preference to her capability for live takedowns, paused, took a breath, and then launched into a sharp rebuttal that visitors defined as each riveting and devastating. First, she reminded Sunny of ways regularly The View had given her a platform to denounce racism in all its forms, consisting of residual effects from slavery. Then Joy zeroed in at the contradiction. How should Sunny, who criticized others relentlessly, appear so unprepared or dismissive, while her family's records changed into illuminated? How should she blame Joy for stirring the pot when it turned into Sunny's very own response on a public family tree display that had set the media ablaze? And peculiarly, why become Sunny, dragging Joy into the crosshairs of Melania Trump's criminal offensive, as although comedic or analytical remark from in the show had any direct correlation to the previous first female's decision to document a lawsuit? In that second, Joy successfully destroyed Sunny's attempt to shift obligation.